and HANA takes less than 6 seconds. Now what is the reason behind it? So the reason is, the important reasons why other databases are very slow and HANA is very fast is because of 3 reasons. The first reason is HANA is an in-memory database. It's a in-memory DB. Second one, it's a column-oriented DB. Third one, it does massively parallel processing of data. So HANA is an in-memory DB, column-oriented and parallel processing. That's why it is extremely fast. Now what is in-memory database and why in-memory databases make HANA extremely faster? What is the reason behind it? Now, in a computer, we have 3 main parts. One is CPU, the second one is RAM, and third one is disk. So we have CPU, RAM, and disk. Databases like MS SQL, the primary way to store data for MS SQL is always on disk. So the table that I was talking is on disk. Actually, the table is residing over here. But for databases like SAP HANA, the same table resides on memory. Now here I have one question. When databases like MS SQL store data on disk, now why did SAP think we need to have the same table on memory? Why SAP got this idea of keeping data in memory? Now what is in-memory database? What is a database? Nothing but collection of tables. Collection of tables in memory. We're keeping all these tables in memory. Why? Now what is disk made up of? Disk made up of an iron plate, whereas RAM is made up of transistors and capacitors. Both are containers. Iron plate is also a container, and RAM, transistors and capacitor is also a container. SAP wanted to separate this content from the container called iron plate and put the same content into a different container called memory, because RAM is 100,000 times faster in processing data than disk. It's 100,000 times faster. And the second reason, drinking water from kitchen is faster, or taking a flight, going to a different place, drink water and come back. The same way, whenever a business is asking a question, first it goes to the CPU, goes to the memory. Getting data from memory is faster, or from memory again going to disk, getting from disk to memory, again back to the CPU to the front end. The more the closer data is, the faster it gets to the front end. So 2 reasons I am trying to give you here. Why in-memory databases have extremely high performance. One is RAM is faster in processing data. How much faster? 100,000 times faster. And the second reason is data is kept close to the CPU. Let's go to the next one. What are column-oriented DBs? And why column-oriented DBs have extremely high performance? So I'll take the same table. Let me copy this table. Usually in SAP, tables are stored in row-oriented fashion. So tables most of the time are stored in row-oriented fashion. The same table we are storing in row, and here we have in column. So we have same table. So this is in row and this table is in column. So what's the difference? So the difference is, please see. Now I'll try to enter one record. For example, 001, product is M01, amount is 100 and quantity is 10. Just I'm trying to enter a single record in a table. So when I enter this record in a table, this record actually it will return into a file in the backend. This record is written to a file in the backend. So I'll get this record, okay, and then it will try to copy this record in the backend file. Okay, now let's say I also try to write another record 002, M02, 200 and 20. So I'll also copy this record. Okay, so two records have written to the table and two records are written to a file. Now I'll ask one question over here. If I ask you, who is the top customer? So what system is going to do here? It'll give the answer saying that, okay, 002, because the amount is 200. Based on amount, if you see 002 is the top customer. Now in order to get 002 and 200, what system has done? First it will start scanning from here. It starts scanning the entire value and give the answer saying that 002 and 200 are top. Please see, when I ask the question, I ask question based on customer and amount. Who is my top customer? But what system is trying to do? It is trying to scan the entire table. Irrelevant of the question, it is not bothered about what question I am asking. It's simply trying to scan the entire table. That's the disadvantage of row-oriented tables. All the databases store data in row-oriented fashion. So what SAP has done is, they started storing data in columnar fashion. Now how column-oriented tables are different from row? So what SAP has done is, in SAP, simple tables would store customer information, would store material related data. These tables are more than 150 columns. So SAP started storing each column in a separate file. Rather than storing the entire data in a single file, they started to store, okay, first column, first file, second column, second file. So like this, 4 columns, so you have 4 files. So what is the advantage of storing like this? Now please see. Customer 001, 002, product. Please I'm storing like this, M01, M02, amount 100, 200, and quantity 10 and 20. So now if I have 200 column table, so how many files will you have? 200 files. Now my question, get me top customer. So it will go scan this file. So in my question, no product, so it will skip this file. It's not going to this file. It goes to amount, fetch data. So in here, in my question, if I'm only asking 2 columns data, it will only go to those 2 columns and the other columns it will skip. But if you see here, what it cannot do is, from 001, it cannot directly go to 002. it has to scan the entire data. So here it has to scan irrelevant of the equation, and here it only goes to those columns because data is stored on separate files. The files which are not necessary, it simply skip. So what it is trying to do here is, it's taking shortcut to data. It's only going to those files which are required. Other files it simply skip if they are not asked. So row oriented tables are very slow and column oriented tables are very fast. Simple reason, column oriented tables skip columns which are not necessary. It takes shortcut to data. Basically they take shortcut to data. Let's go to the third concept. What is the third concept? Massively parallel processing. So what is massive parallel processing? And why massive parallel processing have extremely high performance? Let us see this. I'll take a simple example. Let's say you have a building with 5 floors. So you assign only a single person. You assign a single person to paint the entire building. So what this person will do is, every day he come to work, he paints this floor, he paints this. So what he's trying to do? He's trying to do sequential processing. Every day one floor, so it takes 5 days to process the entire work. Now suppose say if I deploy 5 people to do the same work. Now what they will try to do? First they will talk to each other, they will distribute the work. So they will say, I'll process this, you process this. So first they'll start distributing the work. And then they'll process the work. They'll process each individual's work. And finally, they'll start assembling the work. They start to assemble the work and give back to the business owner, saying that work is completed. So how much time it takes? 1 day. So when one person is there, in order to paint the entire building, it takes 5 days. Sequential processing, one after another. When you have 5 people doing the same work, they distribute, process, and give back the work to the business. It takes only 1 day. So how do I compare this example with computers, especially CPUs? The more the resources you deploy, the less time it takes to process the work. So even in CPU, you have multiple cores. In CPU, you have core. What is a core? A core is nothing but CPU inside a CPU. Quad core, dual core CPUs. So this is core 1. So even core is also a CPU. But the only difference is core is also a CPU, but it is inside a CPU. That's why it is called as core. So core 1, core 2, core 3 and core 4. Now assuming that now this one is a table or a program. It's a complex program. So in massive parallel processing, complex programs are broken down into smaller subsets, and each subset of a program is assigned to different cores of a CPU. So the first part is assigned to first core, the second one assigned to second, and third one assigned to third one. So instead of one core processing the entire work, the program is distributed to all the cores. Each core in SAP HANA can process 3.2 billion records per second per core and 15 to 30 million aggregations per second per core. So each core 3.2. For example, if I have 30 billion records to process, if I have a single core, how much time it takes? Approximately it takes for one core 10 seconds based on this. If I have 10 cores processing the same work, 10 cores, then it takes only 1 second. The more the resources you deploy, the less time it takes to process the work. So until now, for the participants who have joined late to the session, a quick recap. So when I started this demo session, I was asking one question. When you have a 2 trillion record in a table, you're asking a simple question like who are my top customers? Databases like MS SQL take 8 hours to answer this question. SAP HANA takes less than 6 seconds. Now what are the reasons behind it? I was discussing about what's an in-memory database. A database is a collection of tables in memory. In SAP HANA, the entire database is sitting on memory. Why? The reason I was trying to give here is RAM is faster to process data. And second reason is data is kept close to the CPU. RAM is faster. How fast? 100,000 times. So whenever you keep data close to the CPU, it is faster to access in the front end rather than asking a question, going to CPU, going to memory, going to disk, getting back to memory and to the front end. The third one was discussing about massively parallel processing. In massive parallel processing, when you have complex programs, they're broken down into smaller subsets, and each subset of a program is assigned to different cores of a CPU. Each core in SAP HANA can process 3.2 billion records per second per core and 15 to 30 million aggregations per second per core. The more the cores you have, the less time it takes to process in massive parallel processing. So until now, I was just trying to explain what HANA can do. But what we have to do on a project? What are our roles and responsibilities in a project? Let us see them. So we are known as SAP HANA consultants. So what an SAP HANA consultant should do on a project? So SAP HANA consultant, there are primarily three things we need to execute. If the HANA consultant work is 100%, let's say, the first one is data modeling. Data modeling. The second one known as data provisioning. And third one known as user interface or data reporting. Data modeling, data provisioning and data reporting. Now, especially in SAP, there are two kinds of customers. Either the customers who are existing or customers who are newly implementing SAP. For existing customers, in order to implement HANA, we call it a sidecar scenario, sidecar. For new customers, it's called maincar. So what is the difference between a sidecar scenario for the existing customers and maincar scenario for new customers? Let us discuss. The sidecar means already you have one car which is running to the existing car. So already you have SAP systems, like you have systems SAP, and you also have systems non-SAP. So what we are trying to do now, you have data and processing from both SAP and non-SAP systems. Now you would like to implement HANA. Now why would you like to implement HANA? Just I try to give you three main reasons. In here, it is storing data in row, store data in row. In here, you store data in column. In here, you store data on disk. Here you store data on RAM. In here, you do processing sequentially. In here, you do parallel processing. So, you have data in the existing systems. You want to move to HANA in order to achieve extremely high performance and the capabilities of SAP HANA. Now, what is that we need to do first? The first thing that we need to do is, whatever the data that you have in the existing systems. So I'm talking about sidecar scenario. So I'm just trying to discuss about sidecar scenario. So sidecar means here you have one car and then you're trying to implement another car. You have an existing solution. Parallelly, you want to implement another solution called SAP HANA without disrupting the existing solution. The most important thing is we should not disrupt the existing solution. Without disrupting this, I need to build a new solution. So once I completely satisfied, then I go ahead with the solution. Okay, so the first thing is, whatever the data that you have over here, I would like to bring the data from here to SAP HANA. Now, first of all, how would I bring this data? When you have some tables here, I would like to bring these tables to SAP HANA. So in order to get this data from source, so these are called as source systems. These are called as source system. And these are my target systems. So in order to get data from these systems to these systems, we have something called data provisioning, to provision data. In data provisioning, you can provision data in different ways. Like you can use SLT. SLT. What is SLT? S stands for system, L landscape transformation. System landscape transformation, or it is also called as SAP landscape transformation. SLT is used to transfer data in real time. So basically, using this approach, you can transfer data in real time. So what is real time? Whenever I create a sales order, for example, I create a sales order called 001, amount is 100 USD, for example. Net value of the sales document is 100 USD. When I post a record here in SAP system, or it could be a non-SAP system, could be SAP or non-SAP, excuse me, immediately in real time, the data is going to get transferred over here in this system. So what SLT is doing is, whenever you try to insert data, update, delete, immediately SLT is going to transfer data into SAP HANA system. At any point of time, both the systems, the source system and the target system, is always in sync. And this happens in blink of an eye. Suppose say I ask one question. What is the stock availability on my shop floor? So how much stock do I have for a particular product on the shop floor? So in order to answer this question, what is the current availability? Should I not have data in real time? Because only when you have both the systems in sync, we can get the accurate answer. What is the stock availability? I will give you one more question. Salary. You know, salary most of the time is processed weekly, or in India, most of the time it is processed monthly. So when we are processing salary on monthly basis, is real time necessary? Real time is not necessary, because salary is something which is in India you get after 30 days or you get after 7 days. So for payroll, real time data is not necessary, but for inventory management, real time data is necessary. So it is based on the business scenario. So what business? So you demand for real time data, go for SLT. It transfers data in real time. Now, if you demand to go for batch, now data should come after 7 days or 30 days. Currently, you don't require. So in those scenarios, you can go for a product called, or a tool called BODS. BODS stands for Business Objects Data Services. So simply to say, BODS is for batch. You want to process data after 7 days, 30 days. You can go for batch processing. So this is for batch and this is for real time. Third one, so SLT, SAP Landscape Transformation for real time data transfer. Business Objects Data Services. This is known as Business Objects Data. In short, we call it as data services. And third one is DXC, Direct Extractor Connection. So what DXC does is, it is a way to transfer data via web. So it basically transfers data via web using DXC. For example, I'll give you a very simple example. Now, in SAP, systems are categorized into two. They're called as OLTP systems, OLTP. And the other systems are known as OLAP systems. So what is the difference between T and A? Online, analytical. This is called as analytical, and these are called as transactional. Transactional systems are those systems which are optimized for writing of data. You can write data faster. And OLAP systems are those systems where you can read data faster. You can read. So here you can write, here you can read. But what is HANA? Either you can write faster or either you can read faster. But in HANA, can do both. It's called as OLTAP. You can write data, you can read data. What does this mean? You don't require two systems, one for writing and other for reading. You don't require two systems how we do traditionally, because HANA can do both these operations very, very fast. So that's why if any existing customer is using two systems, one for writing and one for reading. You don't require any more. You can just keep it in one system. So what DXE can do is, if any customers are maintaining data like this, and these systems, this is called as ECC system, for example. The product name is ECC. And here, this product name is BW, Business Warehouse. So here you can read, here you can write. So whenever you're moving data, so whatever the data that you have here, I will move this copy of data into these systems. I'll just copy and I'll start reading from here. Why do like this? Is it not redundant data? You keep one copy over here, you keep one copy here. It's basically you're trying to redundant data. So you can only have one copy in SAP HANA where you can write, where you can read data in the same system. You can create a sales order in SAP HANA. You can read the sales order. So by using DXE method, what I can do is, if there is a landscape that you are using to transfer data to BW, you don't have to do this anymore. By using DXE approach, if the customers are using solution like this, you can bypass and you can get the same data back to HANA system. So DXE enables to bypass existing solutions and get back the data to SAP HANA system. So I was just starting to discuss about data provisioning. So what is data provisioning? To provision data. Why we want to provision data? These systems are slow, these systems are faster. Here it is row, here it is based on disk, here you're doing sequential processing, whereas here column, parallel processing, storing data in memory. I can do both transaction processing as well as analytical processing. I can read, I can write data faster into HANA systems. So DXE enables to transfer data. If you have something like this landscape where you can bypass the existing solution and get data back to HANA. The last one is smart data access. So basically in data provisioning, you have 4 different approach. SAP landscape transformation for real time, business objects data services for batch, direct extractor connection to bypass data from existing read optimized systems, and the last one is smart data access. Now what is smart data access? Smart data access, simply to say, you can smartly access data. Just by seeing that, we can say you can smartly access data. Now, what is smartly accessing data? What do we mean by that? Please see here. Now, you know, in non-SAP, you have different systems like MS SQL, Oracle, Sybase, any other database like DB2. When you have data in non-SAP systems, simply creating one connection using smart data access, you can simply connect. There is something called ODBC connection. The name of the connection is ODBC, Open Database Connect. So using this connection, I can create one connection, connect to non-SAP, whatever system you want, and get data to HANA. So SLT for real time, getting data from SAP and non-SAP. BODS for batch, getting data in batch process, schedule. DXE, when you want to bypass existing BW systems or OLAP systems and get data to HANA. And smart data access, getting data from non-SAP systems. This is primarily used for non-SAP. getting data from non-SAP systems to SAP HANA seamlessly. Seamlessly you can get data just by simply creating one connection. So this is nothing but data provisioning. Now, once you get data to SAP HANA, what next we have to do? What is the next thing? The next thing is we need to start creating data models. We need to start creating data modeling. So what is data modeling? Data modeling, simply to say, defining a relationship between tables. How these tables are interconnected to each other. We're all dumping the tables over here. But only getting the tables is not sufficient. We need to start building relationship between these tables. In order to build relationship between these tables, we create different type of schemas, or these are also called as creating information views, called as information view. You create different types of information views. Like for example, you create attribute views for dealing with master data. This is a little technical, but again in later classes I'm going to discuss more about these information views. So these basically deal with master data. You have something called analytic views. These deal with transaction data like amount, quantity. Attribute views deal with customers, products, company code. Creating data for controlling areas, operating concern. So all this one deal with master and this one deals with transaction. Okay. So what is data modeling? Defining a relationship between tables. So once you get all these tables to SAP HANA, the next thing that you do is start creating relationships. This is known as data modeling. Okay. So once you finish data modeling, and in most of the projects, this is where it is very time consuming. So you're going to spend most of your time over here in data modeling. And then finally presenting these data models to the business users. You want to present these models to business. So business can either use to write data back or read data from HANA. You can write data, you can create a sales order, you can create materials, you can create company codes. So whatever you want to do, you can do it over here directly. You can write data here. Also you can read. In order to write, in order to read, there are different user interfaces. Because business will not know what is the system in the back that we are using. They just see this front end. This is called as user interface. User interface. So here in the user interface, there are different tools. Like for example, you can read data from Excel. We know Excel, right? We know Excel. Using Excel, I can read data from SAP HANA. The product name is Analysis for Office. So if you have an existing Excel, there is a plugin in the Excel. There is a plugin where you can read data from Excel. Or you can read data from web. Analysis for Office. Analysis for OLAP. This is called as Analysis for OLAP. You can write data back to HANA using UI5, or you can use Fury. You can read data from cloud applications. Analytics for cloud. So one of the product is Lumira. Lumira is one of the product where you can read data from cloud. You can create your own web application. You can create your own web application you can create on your own for mobile devices. like iPad, iPhone. For iPad and iPhone, you can create your own application called Design Studio. This is called as Design Studio. You can integrate HANA with third-party software like Tableau. Tableau is a third-party like TIBCO Spotfire. So like this, you can use Excel to connect to HANA. You can use web analysis for OLAP. You can design your own application, Design Studio. You can use cloud analytics for cloud, which is Lumira. You can read data from third-party software, Tableau, TIBCO, Spotfire. So like this, you have UI5, you have Fury. So like this, you can use different user interfaces where you can read and you can write data to SAP HANA system. Okay, until now, I was trying to discuss about Sidecar scenario. So in SAP, if you see, there are more than 2,25,000 customers. There are more than 2,25,000 customers in SAP. In this 2,25,000 customers, until now, there are about 25,000 customers who implemented SAP HANA, 25 to 30,000 in between. So this is from 6 months back statistics. So this started when in 2011 as one of the first consultant to get certified in SAP in Asia Pacific region. So during that time, hardly in the year of 2011, there were about 4 customers. The first customer was Red Bull energy drink. And then Deloitte also implemented SAP HANA for running their payroll. So in 2011, there were 4 customers, and gradually by 2013, mass deployment of SAP HANA. So they about most of them in this 25 to 30,000 customers, 15,000 customers are using Sidecar scenario. More than 15,000 plus customers use Sidecar because they already have SAP solutions. They want to leverage the capabilities of SAP HANA. So for any customer who is already using SAP system, they consider going a Sidecar scenario. So SAP by 2020, they wanted to move all the customers, 2,25,000 customers to SAP HANA system. So that is their goal. By 2020, they want to have all the customers on SAP HANA system. Whether it could be a Sidecar or it could be a maincar scenario. Now let me discuss what is maincar scenario. I'll just show you. So in Sidecar, you have an existing SAP. Parallelly, you're building a new solution. Why? Because we don't want to disrupt. So in a maincar scenario, how it looks like this. It looks something like this. The same ECC system. ECC, you have already ECC system. And this one is on MS SQL, for example. It's on MS SQL. So what we try to do is, we try to migrate database from MS SQL to SAP HANA. So this is done by DMO, data migration option. So you remove the existing DB and replace with HANA system. So what will happen? You get your ECC system on top of SAP HANA. This is known as Business Suite on SAP HANA. Now where you will have all the tables, columnar tables, everything will be converted to HANA format. So directly you're deploying the solution on SAP HANA. But I want to ask one question over here. The question is, when you have ECC on SAP HANA, ECC systems are designed to run on MS SQL databases. So basically they're designed to run on MS SQL. But what are we trying to do? The same application server we're running on SAP HANA system. So these are actually designed to run on MS SQL, but now we are using the same system to be running on SAP HANA. So most of the customers are not happy running these solutions like this, because originally they're designed to run on other databases. Now you're running the solution on HANA. So later what SAP has done is they came up with a new solution called S/4HANA. So S stands for simple. So these are more complex systems. So what they've done is they incorporated the functionality of ECC in a more simpler way called S/4HANA. S for simple, 4 for fourth generation software. These solutions are very, very simple in order to implement, very easy to implement. So the only database that can support for S/4HANA is only HANA. Only HANA can support. Other databases cannot support. So here ECC, other databases can also support, but in S/4HANA, only moving forward, HANA is only the approach. HANA is only the approach for newer systems. You cannot use any other databases to implement S/4HANA. So the main advantage of S4 is it's very simple to implement, simple to maintain. The second one is these systems are actually on-premise, and these systems can be deployed in cloud. So what is the difference between an on-premise system and a system is in cloud? It's simply maintaining emails in your own email server and maintaining emails in Google email. That's the difference. So to maintain emails in your own email server, you require hardware, you require software. But Google, we never know where these emails are stored, in which servers they are stored, in what data center, where this hardware is running. We don't know anything. All that we do is we just write emails and we send emails. Also we store data in their servers. And that too, you can access anywhere. You don't have to install any program on the client computer. Means we don't have to install any programs in order to access Gmail. Just we type in www.gmail.com. We give the username and password, access emails. So such a simple is S/4HANA. So wherever you are, it's just like a Gmail. You can access all the business applications on cloud without even installing any software on the client machine. On-premise system is something you find in the control panel. You have something called add remove programs. If it's a client software on-premise, you find in add remove programs. But something which is running on cloud, we don't have to install. Just it runs by entering the URL. Okay, so most of the S/4HANA systems are basically designed in such a way they can be deployed on SAP HANA Cloud. So simpler to maintain, the systems are available in cloud, and the only option to move forward is SAP HANA. Okay, so what we are going to basically see in this course. So to learn SAP HANA, there is no prerequisite. There is no prerequisite to learn SAP HANA. Anyone can learn SAP HANA. Consultants, who are from ABAP background or functional background and any kind of background can learn SAP HANA. This is to enhance their existing skills, also to become SAP HANA consultants. So in this course, I'll just show you the course content. What I'm going to just open the course content. So in this course, what we're going to see is coming to the modeling topics. You can see the modeling topics. So the institute name is Surya HANA Academy. So here the content for this, creating an attribute view. This is to design for master data. Designing an analytic views, this is for transaction data. For example, you want to create customer master, company code master. We design using attribute views. You want to deal with amount and quantity related data. Maybe deal with analytic views. Creating calculation views. This is for both master and transaction data. What are the best practices to create data models? So we need to follow best practices. So what are the different approaches we are going to follow? How to do performance optimization? Optimizing the performance when you have complex queries, large amounts of data. Currency conversions. Converting from one currency to a different currency based on different exchange rates. How we can do it in SAP HANA. Variables to filter data. How to transport data models from development to quality and production. So after you develop, we need to test and we need to deploy them. So how we can deploy? Export models. So exporting of these models, importing of these models. SAP HANA, the language SAP HANA works on is SQL script. How do you use a scripting language? ABAP is not supported inside SAP HANA. Inside the HANA, it doesn't support ABAP. Outside it supports. So inside language is SQL script. So HANA course is very easy to learn. It's very easy. It's one of the most easiest courses in SAP because it is very easier to design, easier to implement and to save cost for customers. So it's very easy and easy to deploy the solution. So for this reason, SAP followed an approach called model to code. Usually SAP approach is code to model. Now they reverse and they started to use model to code, means we generate the model and system generates the code on its own. Just we use the graphical user interface and all the program is automatically generated by system which is using SQL script. So how these scripts are generated in the background? Calculation engine functions. The different functions, how to use these functions. How SQL script create procedures, hierarchies, creating data in parent and child relationships. How it creates metal hierarchy, how we can create metal hierarchy, time hierarchy. Data available in parent and child relationship formats. Different joins in SAP. So restricted measures and calculated measures. How we can create formulas in SAP HANA. Different joins in SAP HANA. Like what is a referential join, text join, inner joins. Auto documentation. Automatically it can take documentation of all the work that we are doing in SAP HANA to document. In data reporting, how we can use different user interfaces like Web Intelligence, Design Studio, Lumira, Analysis for Office, Analysis for OLAP, Explorer, UI5, Fury, how we can use to present data to the business users. This is on the data reporting side. Crystal Reports Enterprise. And data provisioning, how we can provision data using SLT, BODS, DXC, and then how to do administration, how to install SAP HANA. I'm going to show you installation of SAP HANA, how to install, how to maintain, how to deploy, what are the different operations we have to execute, like client installation, multi-version concurrency control, how to do backup, recovery, distributed landscape. So all these are administrative related topics. And then user management. In order to control the security, what details should be seen by what user? In the user management, creating users, creating roles, assigning appropriate privileges to the roles. So this is all in the user management. And then we're going to see two end-to-end projects. One is based on sales and distribution. And the second one is based on controlling profitability analysis, COPA. Also, I'm going to show you based on customer relationship management, payroll, financials, S4HANA system. So all the applications, I'm going to show you two projects, and then I'm going to give you documentation for at least 8 to 10 projects. You can refer to those documents and create your own solution. End to end, right from project preparation, blueprinting, realization, testing, and finally deploying the solution. BW powered by SAP HANA. There is a new solution called BW for SAP HANA. How do we use BW for SAP? Like S4 HANA, you also have BW for SAP HANA. How we can integrate BW to SAP HANA? Like creating transient, composite, all these different providers, how we can integrate. If a customer already has BW, how we can integrate to SAP HANA? In S4 HANA topics, how we can configure S4 HANA? What are the different features that SAP has done to make it more simple? How to access in cloud? How we can integrate with Lumira? Introduction to Simple Finance, S4 HANA Finance, S4 HANA Logistics. This will be in S4 HANA topics. So for all this course content to cover, we require 65 hours. So it's a 10 weekend class. It's a weekend class. So every week we start at 6:30 a.m. IST till 9:30. So it's a 3-hour class. So Saturday and Sunday, 3 hours, 3 hours on Saturday and 3 hours on Sunday, coming from the next week. And also coming to the landscape that we have. What is the landscape that we have? Let me show you the landscape. So we're going to give 6 months of server access for this landscape, which we have HANA, and then you have HANA and then S4 HANA on top of HANA, the maincar scenario. and then you have HANA, and then BW4 HANA, which is a new solution released by SAP. BW4 SAP HANA. So this is native HANA, S4 HANA, BW4 HANA, and then the legacy SAP systems like SAP, ECC, non-SAP systems, and integrating the existing SAP or non-SAP systems using different data provisioning methods like SLT, BODS, DXC, Smart Data Access. So all this SAP landscape transformation, business objects, data services, direct extractor connection, and smart data access. How we can connect in a sidecar scenario. Again, you have in the front end, you have different user interfaces like analysis for Office, analysis for OLAP, Explorer, Fiori, UI5, Design Studio, Web Intelligence, Tableau, TIBCO Spotfire. These are all on the user interfaces. How we can integrate these different UIs with HANA, S4 HANA, BW4 HANA. So here it seems like it seems like there are different HANA systems, but actually everything is on a single system. You see, everything is on a single system. So this is a UI. So the entire landscape we have. So in order to access this landscape, we access using remote desktop connection. So the version for this is HANA based on SPS 12. Just I'm giving the versions. So all these are latest versions. And BW4 HANA 1.0. 1.0 is the latest version. We have 15.11 and 16 version. ECC 6.0, EHP 7, SLT 2.0, BODS 4.2. So all these are different versions of the software. DX is just a connection. Smart Data Access is a connection. And Business Objects 4.0, MS SQL 2012. So the entire system landscape you can access via MSTSC. MSTSC is a command to access the system remotely. In order to access this system, let me show you how to access MSTSC. Just click on the remote desktop connection. And here, provide the IP address. Click on connect. Just, what is the IP address? This IP address. We need to copy this IP address. You need to access like this. Using MSTSC, just enter this IP address after this. So once you enter this IP address, and here click on connect, and every participant will have their own user ID and password. Just we need to enter the user ID and password. Click OK. Sorry. So it's logging into the remote desktop connection. So once it logs to the remote desktop connection, so here you have start, click all programs. So there are different UIs, like for example in HANA. To access HANA, you have HANA Studio. Just click on this UI, HANA Studio. So what is HANA Studio? Just like SAP GUI. Like SAP GUI, we use HANA Studio. So to log into the system, so once you're into SAP HANA Studio, just to connect to the system, right click, click log on and provide the password. So in tomorrow's session, tomorrow also we have one session. Tomorrow I'm going to give you more details about the system. So what is the system, how you can access system, what are the different user IDs and passwords in the system, how the entire system is integrated with each other. Tomorrow we see hands-on. Today I'm just trying to give you the entire course overview. Tomorrow we see the hands-on. So to access W Capital, so the password for this is, and one more thing, we all going to share the same user ID and password. So whatever the models I'm going to create, you all can access the same system. So we can practice on the same authorization. W Capital, welcome 123, and click OK. So now once we log into HANA system, then you see something called catalog. What is a catalog? A catalog is a collection of schema. It's a collection of schema. Expand the catalog. So here you have different schemas. All the different schemas. So let's go to a schema called best. Expand the schema. Under best, we see tables, expand tables. Just enter any SAP table. So just I try to enter KNA1. So this is an SAP standard table. Just right click on this table. You see there are different tables, like, see this is, you see there is a different symbol. These are called row tables. And these are called as smart data access tables. And these are called as columnar tables. Just right click on this table and click open data preview. So this is customer table, KNA1. So you have all the customer related data. So just in order to see the structure of the table, right click, click open definition, click on open definition. So here you see these are column stores. So just like if participants are already from SAP background, just like how you have SE11. So this is just like SE11, where you can view tables, modify tables, create programs. So in SAP HANA, we don't have this transaction code concept. We have something called perspective. So there are different perspectives. Please see. There are different perspectives like ABAP perspective, BW perspective, HANA administrative perspective, developer perspective, modeler perspective. Like this, you have different perspectives. So using these perspectives, we work on SAP HANA. It's a view. So like this, in HANA itself, when you click on window, click on perspective, you see there's something called perspective. Click on reset perspective. Click yes. So once you click yes, it will take to default. It will take to the default perspective. Please see here, you see something called quick view. Quick view has most important options available in SAP HANA. So all these are important options. You see there's something called data provisioning. Click on this. Select the system. Click finish. you can see SLT. So here, in order to work on SLT, we have another user ID called system user ID. So this is another user ID. Just right click, click log on. W capital, welcome 123 is the password for system. Click on provisioning again. Select system, click finish. So here you can see SAP landscape transformation based replication. So all these are standard tables. So these are admin related tables. You have other tables. So all these are SLT schemas. So like this, all the SLT will be running inside the HANA system. You can see here from the HANA system, replicate in process. It's in the process of replication. Then you have other tools like BODS, Business Objects Data Services, Data Services Workbench, Business Intelligence, Business Objects Analysis for Microsoft Excel, Business Objects Intelligence Platform, Lumira, Predictive Analytics, how to create data model for predictive analytics, Crystal Reports, Business Objects Design Studio, dashboards, all these are different UIs, user interfaces. So more on this, I'll show you in tomorrow's session in very detailedly on how to access each of the systems. And the entire landscape will be provided for 6 months. Coming to, so these are all the system access you're going to get for 6 months. Every day, the session will be for 3 hours. So I'm going to record these sessions and I'm going to distribute all these sessions in the Dropbox. So from the Dropbox, I'll just show you how we can access all these recorded videos. So every day I'm going to record all these sessions. So here we have something called Dropbox. So let me open this Dropbox. So every day, once the session is completed, so here you have set 1 and set 2 materials and HANA recordings. So like this you have different, so all these recorded will be provided to you. So once the session is completed, I'm going to share all these recordings with you.
Give job support for participants. Even BW.
These are all from the old recordings. So all these recordings will be provided to you.
Yes.
And apart from this, you'll have this common materials. The common materials have kept up-to-date materials from SAP HANA. For example, if you take, these are the SP11 materials. Now, when you want to write the certification, most of the participants have written the certification. So I've been training for almost 3 years now. So more than 100 participants have written certification. And most of them have got more than 80% in the certification. So certification is something which is one of the most important thing for me in the training, especially. So immediately after the course, participant can write the certification, and I'll make sure that in the training I cover all the certification related questions. So we have certification dumps, so 1515 dump, 131 dump. So if you see, I just collected all these questions from the participants who already written the exam. So who are writing the exam, I just ask them what kind of questions are coming nowadays. So just prepared more than 500 to 600 questions. Here you see all the materials like HA100, 300. Now these materials are SAP standard materials. Like these are all the latest materials, course 11. So this is the latest materials from SAP, which is based on SP11. So certification will be based on SP11 and SP10. So whatever the materials in HA100, 300, 350, 900, all these topics will be covered. So these are all the certification related materials based on SP11 and ABAP HANA. So participants who are from ABAP background, I collected some materials for development tools for NetWeaver, guided performance analysis, SAP HANA and ABAP programming. So these are all ABAP related topics. And here HANA project. In the HANA project, so I've given a few projects. So this is all the project documentation. So here you have project documentation for different applications like Simple Finance, ERP, GTS, GRC, CRM, insurance, utilities, CRM and cross analytics. So for different applications I've collected the documents and kept here. You can access them. And S4HANA related materials, AC100 for Simple Finance, AC210, AC200, S4HANA. Simple Finance certification materials, configuration materials. This, I just highlighted all the important points from these materials. If participants not having time, just they can go through this important notes in each of these materials. And then S4HANA Finance. And then in set 1, you have all the assignments. So every week I'm going to give you the assignments. So I just copied these assignments over here that we need to execute based on every week. So there are more than 2,000 pages of screenshots. So there 2,000 pages of screenshots I've given here. So we have to execute these assignments. So every week we'll complete. After each week sessions, assignments will be given to the practice. And these are SP10 materials. SP10, and here you have the old materials for SAP HANA. SP10, SP9 materials for SAP HANA. And these are remote desktop details, sample resumes. I collected resumes, the more than 500 resumes I collected for SAP HANA, just in case participants want to go through them. Just you can go through these resumes. And interview questions, I collected over the time, I collected the different interview questions they're asking the interview. So all the questions I have documented over here. And then just we have BODS related materials. The participants want to get more details into BODS. So BODS related materials. So like this, whatever related to SAP HANA, everything is there in this set 1 and set 2 materials. And the video recordings will be given in the separate folders, so you can access the video recordings. So immediately after the course, participants can write the certification. I'll make sure from my point of view, I'll make sure that every participant get more than 80%. So coming to the course, it's very easy to learn, very easy to learn, and we complete the course in 10 weeks. So in 10 weeks, every week I'll take 6 hours sessions, so we can complete it in 10 weeks. After the completion, you can immediately write the certification. So on the 11th week, you can book the certification from SAP and you can write. And coming to the projects, we're going to see two end-to-end projects based on financials and sales. The course will start from next week, from morning 6:30 a.m. IST to 9:30 a.m. IST. So I'm recording this session. So if you want this recording, whatever the session I'm recording now, you want this recording, you can contact nagarjuna.k@gmail.com, and my phone number is +91 77 999 11129. Okay, so there is a coordinator, name is Bharat. So he's actually picking up all the calls and he's trying to coordinate between both of us. So participants who wish to talk to me personally or anything related to course, you can contact me. We can talk to each other. If you have any questions, any queries, you can always contact me. And also, you can also follow me on LinkedIn. So I have a LinkedIn account. Participants can connect me through LinkedIn. So I'll just open the LinkedIn account. So this is my LinkedIn account. So my name is Nagarjuna. So participants, so most of the times I keep posting a lot of material, a lot of things on SAP HANA. So we can connect through LinkedIn. And every day I create a lot of posts on LinkedIn, a lot of opportunities. You can also go through a lot of these materials, blogs that are written for SAP HANA. So most of the time, mostly connected in the LinkedIn. So please do connect on LinkedIn. Any other questions participants may have for today? Please post your question. I'll read your question, answer your question. Thank you everyone once again to attend today's demo. Taking your valuable time to attend. Thank you so much. Please post your questions. I'll read your questions and answer your question. Thank you once again. So please also attend tomorrow's session. Tomorrow also we have a continuation of the session. I'll continue tomorrow. I know tomorrow is Diwali. Just I would like to give you just the overview of the actual course will start next week. The actual course will start next week. But in tomorrow, just I would like to show you how the systems are integrated with each other. Like how S4HANA is integrated, BW4HANA, HANA. Just I'll give you about system landscape about 1 hour, one hour to 1.5 hour. But the actual course we're going to start in the next week. So you can also contact me through this number. So I just given one number here. As participants who wish to contact, you can contact me through this number or email. So the email is, just I write down again, nagarjuna.k@gmail.com. And the contact is +91 is the India code, 7799991129. So here we have one question. So after attending the course, can we surely pass the certification? 100% I can make sure from my side. But what I suggest is, please don't delay. After the course, immediately you can write. But sometimes when you delay, if you practice on daily basis, it will retain. So immediately, so after 11th week or 12th week, you can book a slot from SAP. So you have to pay about 450 to 500 USD to SAP. We need to contact SAP Education. Please contact SAP Education. SAP Education, they give you more details about the certification process. So coming to the opportunities, a lot of job opportunities are there, especially for SAP HANA. Being an emerging technology, I've been into this field for almost 5 years now. Right when it started in 2011, I was not, most of the time, previously I was in ABAP. Then I moved on to functional. Techno-functional areas. And from 2011, I'm into HANA space. So 2011, 12, 13, most of the SAP consultants also not so familiar about SAP HANA, but 14, 15, 16. So it's an emerging technology. So a lot of demand is there. Most of the clients are implementing SAP HANA. HANA is for HANA. So every day the classes will be for 3 hours. So you start from 6:30 to 9:30 a.m. IST, Saturday and Sunday in the morning session. Saturday and Sunday 6:30 to 9:30 a.m. IST. Just I'll write down here. So starting from the next week. So starting from the next week, that is on 5th. From 5th of November, the course will start. And tomorrow we are going to have one more session that is mostly showing you on the system landscape. So I'll read your questions here. So I'll just read the questions that we have here. So here, so can you please explain the difference between SLT and DXC and difference between them? So SLT is used to connect with SAP as well as non-SAP systems, both from SAP as well as from non-SAP systems. And you can transfer data in real time. But DXC, to bypass existing BW systems, only if you have BW system, then only we can use DXC, business warehouse systems. Then only we can use DXE. And DXE is batch process. It's batch schedule. But SLT is real time. Real time, it can transfer from SAP, even from non-SAP systems. Both it can transfer. So next question. In SAP HANA, can we read, write, and configure? Yes. We can write data, we can read data, even we can do configuration inside SAP HANA system. We can maintain security. Everything can be done inside the HANA system. So that is the main advantage. So HANA is a two-tier architecture. In SAP's systems are three-tier architecture. You have database, you have separate application server, you have SAP GUI user interface. But HANA, inside the database itself, you have an application server inside the database. So it's a two-tier architecture. HANA is a two-tier. Usually SAP systems are three-tier architectures. HANA is a two-tier architecture. So inside HANA, you have the application server. The name of the application server is Access Engine. It's called as Access. X, yes. So we're going to discuss topics about S4HANA related to simple finance, simple logistics. I'm going to discuss those topics in detail in this course, how we can configure in cloud, how we can import the configurations in cloud, on-premise, what changes you can find in the system, all these concepts, how we can integrate with Fury, all these concepts we're going to see in this. So the course is something like everything about HANA I'm going to explain. So for an existing consultant or consultants who are coming new to SAP HANA, right from the basic fundamentals till the scenarios of integration, like how HANA can be integrated with ECC, how it can integrate with BW, how it can integrate with third-party softwares, how it can integrate with cloud, how it can integrate with different user interfaces. Right from the fundamentals of HANA, everything related to HANA I'm going to cover in this course. S4, BW4, even the new concepts that SAP introduced. And all the admin related topics like backup, recovery, operations, installation. Those topics also I'm included in this course. So all the admin topics. Just to say everything related to HANA, I'm going to cover here. Admin, application consultant, S4 HANA. Next is when will we get these recorded sessions? So these sessions will be provided once the class. I need to do a conversion. It will take about 2 hours to convert to the required format. So after 2 hours, I'm going to distribute these recordings. Via Dropbox, I'm going to distribute the recordings. So regarding the fee, everything, please contact this number if you want to know about more about fees details. Please contact this number. So he will provide you all the details. His name is Bharat. So Bharat is a coordinator for this course. Please contact Bharat. So he'll be his right person to contact for fees related, server access, materials, everything is taken care. So please contact him. So he will give you all the relevant access. So this course is suitable for ABAPers because from the fundamentals, right from the fundamentals, I'm going to teach. The next question, when smart data access is used? Okay, smart data access is used especially to connect to non-SAP systems. For example, you don't want to migrate data. For example, you have a table, you don't want to transfer the table directly to HANA system, but you want to access the table on the fly. Only when you send a request, it should go to the source and fetch data. Only at the point when you request on demand. So on demand, you can get data from MS SQL using Smart Data Access. It's just a connector to non-SAP system to fetch data from non-SAP systems. So job market is, most of the questions are coming for job market. Market is very, very good. You can go to Dice.com, Naukri. So when I was searching 3 years back, we hardly can find any opportunities. But because most of the clients are moving to SAP HANA, about 30,000 customers are in pipeline to implement S4 HANA and HANA systems. So if you basically recently held a TechEd, SAP TechEd, Bill was just mentioning about 30,000 customers were in pipeline to implement SAP HANA, just waiting for their hardware to deliver from hardware partners. The delay is due to the hardware partners. So once the hardware is available, so they can deploy in cloud and on-premise. So a lot of demand is there. So next question. Will you show the integration to cloud? Yes. So we discuss about hardware as a service, software as a service, infrastructure as a service, enterprise cloud. I'll show you how we can integrate with cloud applications. As we see the migration part, how to migrate from ECC to S4 HANA. HANA Live. Yes, I'm going to discuss about HANA Live. So everything related to HANA. Okay, regarding the course, everything related to HANA I'm going to discuss. Whatever is there related to HANA. For example, just let me. So in HANA, basically, you see, just to give you an overview, you have HA100, which is Introduction to SAP HANA, HA300, Advanced Modeling, HA350, Data Provisioning, HA400, Integration with ABAP, HA200, HANA Admin, BW362, Integration with BW, HA900, HANA Live, S4H01, S4 HANA. So whatever related to everything related to SAP HANA, I'm going to discuss about the introduction, advanced modeling, integration with cloud, integration with analytics, S4 HANA system integration, BW4 HANA, HANA admin, integration with ABAP, everything I'm going to discuss here. So for this, all the PDFs we are providing, so everything, PDFs also there, we're going to provide the PDFs. And these all based on SPS 10, and the latest is SPS 11 certification. So both we are going to cover here. Thank you everyone to attend today's demo, and participants having any questions or you want to talk to me personally, you can contact this number +91 7799991129. Please also attend tomorrow's session, start at 6:30 a.m. IST. See you tomorrow, and classes are going to start with next week. That's 5th of November. So these classes are scheduled for weekends, only weekends, Saturday and Sunday. Thank you once again. See you tomorrow. Happy Deepavali to everyone. Good morning and good night. Once again, this is Nagarjuna Kamireddy. Thank you.